accomplished.
Hey, yeah. Listen to the thoughts as I jot them down. No axeman, but I'ma chop around. Just to see that ass go up and down. Heart beating like a clown, baby, pound for pound. I've been deprived and felt more alive than now. But funny seems how when you got me to work with. Shows attitudes of these dudes I got nothing to do with. Over here's West, so stop making this music. Girls wanna approach me, please. He ain't saying nothing, bitch, drop to your knees. So when I was at home all alone, on my zone, on my phone, wanting dome. I'm saying that you miss me.
Let me slow my weed and let me drain my brain. Rip away these words and drown out all this pain.
Coming to the show, yeah, the best is in. West is here, crazy estrogen. From Party County, I represent. Let everyone know that this flow here is heaven sent. I need medicine, no Xanax binges. Me and Lucy, man, we the best of friends.
Yo, y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Kev, always been a Don. And of course, I got my mask on because you know Corona's out here. And my boy Luigi sitting here, man.
What's up?
Most of, this is the first time we actually, been actually recorded, on video. Looking right in the camera and everything, but.
Which camera are we looking at? Brittany, we're looking at you?
He said the whole name, like, yo. But anyways.
Fourth wall broken.
Word. But we're not here to do the NFL speech like we mostly do. We're actually sitting here because we got somebody special sitting here right now. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Yo, Sweetapple Wes. How y'all doing tonight?
Man, doing good, man.
Doing good, man.
Yeah.
I just got done drinking like 3 Coronas before I got here, so I'm feeling good.
I'm about 5.
Oh, hey,
so.
hey, I need to beat that record, man. Usually I'm always drinking, but I ain't got my cup today, so
Wait, you a Corona man?
No, I was about to say you about the only one I know still drinking Corona though.
What?
I'm still out here repping.
I mean,
yeah.
what?
I'm a Bud Light man.
Oh, okay,
Bud
that's cool. I can do Bud
That's
Light,
what
man.
I came up on.
This is the beauty of the modern crowd. Got Bud Light people and Corona people.
Yeah, we've come together.
Hey,
Come together, man.
That's necessary, man.
Yeah.
That's love.
So, we came here for you. Let's go ahead and start with you, man. First of all, tell the people what you do, man.
Man, I do a little bit of everything. I make beats, I rap. I really just started putting myself out there here in the these past few months. I've been locked away, just trying to perfect my craft. I've been playing music all my life though. Music is all I know. It's all I'm about. I come from kind of a broken home a little bit. I was the only child, so music was always like my way of escaping, like channeling all those emotions, crazy things going on in my household at the time. So from 10, 11, 12 years old, that's just all I've been doing,
Word.
And I just naturally, I started with like drums, guitar, bass. I dabble a little bit of everything. Any instrument, pretty much, I can pick it up and like figure it out within a given amount of time.
Word.
But I really, I think it was like through high school, I really started like getting into more like hip hop. Cause like with hip hop, man, you can do anything. Like you can take gospel, you can take soul, jazz, funk, and like that's what I loved about it. Cause I'm a music lover. So I just this is really a combination of all the things I've been through and all the music I've listened to through my whole life, and channeling it through this. And this is also one of the most popular genres as well. So
internationally.
Yeah.
I was about to say, cause I'm a huge hip hop head, man.
Always.
And like you said earlier, with anybody, you can bring your own flavor to hip hop. It's not a single route type of thing. It's everything that can be mixed in. And in hip hop and rap, we're looking for something new. So let me just ask you this: where did you get your style from? What inspired it?
Man, what didn't inspire me? Honestly, like I take a little bit of inspiration from everything, not just music too. I was really big into movies back, growing up, like Quentin Tarantino, just like anything with like a real dramatic kind of like pictures and stuff like that. I used to read a lot of books, anything from TV shows to like music. But as far as musical influences go, I really came up listening to 90s alternative radio. That was just like the time I was born, and that was when I was coming up. That's what my mom listened to, like Nirvana and stuff like that. But my dad was always cutting those old school records like Zeppelin, Hendrix, Beatles, Fleetwood Mac, stuff like that. So after like I kind of grew out of the rock phase, T.I. was pretty much one of my first influences as far as hip hop goes, you know, because like it was like 06, 07, you know, you got Jeezy, Gucci, you know, T.I. Those were all like, you know, some of the, and you know, Lil Wayne, those were all like some of the big names, but T.I. just kind of related to a little bit more because he just was a little bit more versatile to me, you know. There was like more layers, you know, like his mind was like in the streets, but also, you know, like trying to better himself, you know, and also he was kind of a ladies' man. He's kind of like all over the place, and I kind of just related to that. But it wasn't until I think, Notorious came out, the movie about Biggie.
Man.
Like, I'm the only child. Nobody ever really put me on to music. Like, nobody put me on. And I grew up in Paulding County, bro. Like, ain't nobody was listening to Biggie Smalls out there and stuff like that. So I saw that movie, and I was like, oh, it's cool to like rap about the struggle and stuff like that. Because at the time, you know, I mean, like, yeah, partying and girls, money, that's all sounds great, you know, but that's not my life really right now. Like, on the real, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be partying, but I'm broke as hell, you know what I mean? I ain't got nothing. But seeing that movie really like opened my eyes, and that's like immediately after, I want to say that day I started like writing my own rhymes. I had been writing songs before, like on like acoustic guitar, just kind of like sing or something, but that's when like I had that breakthrough, and I was like, yo, this is I have to do this for the rest of my life. Like, that was it.
Yeah,
you know,
that was like an omen for you.
Yeah,
like when you got out that theater, you're like,
no, I watched it. I was that broke. I waited for I think I got like a pirated cut. Yeah, back on LimeWire days. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to my first computer.
LimeWire, bro. You had dial up when you were watching that, bro.
God, I don't know if I had dial up. It was slow though. It was terrible.
Did your computer survive it?
No, I said rest in peace to my
yeah, bro, that's a sacrifice.
It's got every virus a computer could have, man. That thing, yeah. But
prayers up for the computers.
It played its part, you know. But yeah, ever since then, that was like 09, I think. So yeah, ever since, you know, for the few years after that, it was kind of hard for me to find my style though, you know, because I wasn't making beats. I didn't have anybody making beats. I didn't know that was a thing that, you know, I didn't really know. I was just, you know, freehand writing everything. Yeah. But it wasn't, I was about like 24, 25. That was about 2015. I lost a really good friend of mine to an overdose. And as well, I lost the girl I was dating 3 months later to the same thing. It was accidental. Like, she had got drugs. And, it was a huge, like, emotional trauma time. Like, you know, I was just going off the deep end. And, like, one day I was just like, man, enough's enough. And I went out for a run. I just started running. I just like, you know, I wasn't gonna keep poisoning myself every day, like, you know, just being down and down. And I was listening to this is when J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills came out.
Oh, okay.
And that album was on repeat, and I was just like, I dug into all J. Cole. I had been listening to J. Cole before that, but I was just digging into all his music. And one of his tracks, I don't know if y'all know, "Nobody's Perfect." With, with Missy on it. That's one of the tracks that's actually on my mixtape. I had to keep that one on. Yeah, and I wrote that back in 2015. You know, but it was like, you know, it meant a lot. That was the first time I actually wrote to a beat, and like I couldn't get that beat out of my head, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna look it up on YouTube, see if it's there. And like as soon as I found it, man, just the words are just flowing out, and I couldn't get enough since. And I've been on my grind like ever since then. Yeah.
So have you? I know that you said, you know, you were inspired by definitely what happened was going on in your life. Do you like sometimes, you know, just, you know, me, because I get bored as hell, man. I'm like one of the most house guys ever, playing Call of Duty and stuff like that. Same. Do you sit down and, you know, just look up beats on YouTube and just freestyle to them?
All the time, dude. Like I actually just got my DJ. Like, we haven't really, like, you know, been doing a lot of shows, of course, because of this year. We've only like done like some house parties before that, but that's one of our main things we do, just like as a warm-up, you know, like we'll just look up, you know, random beats, you know, we'll just keep cycling through. I'll have like a little library, you know, that I keep, but it's dope because, like, if I can take that flow, or if there was anything good, I really love like catching that initial inspiration, you know what I'm saying, and just like letting loose. Because I was always scared to freestyle back in the day. Like I'm a perfectionist. Like I didn't want to show anybody any of my work until I knew like every word, everything was like, you know, perfect. But my DJ, he's kind of a fool, you know. He likes to cut up, have a good time. So he kind of like broke that barrier down for me. And man, it's just something we do. Like, man, you want to freestyle? Like, let's just freestyle. And then like that will usually, you know, spark something up. Like we'll get like one or two joints, and you know, I might, you know, just keep it on the YouTube beat, but you know, we also make beats as well. And like, you know, I might find myself like, you know, what should I write about? And I'll be going through my lyrics. I'm like, oh, this just fits perfectly, like from that freestyle. So
understandable.
It's fun though. I love it.
Yeah, put in your 10,000 hours.
amps and song, bro. Like, I mean, if you count like you know the instruments and everything, yeah, of course. But in the past year and a half, bro, like literally, I probably spend about 12 to 15 hours a day, like making beats. Like last year, like it was nothing but beats, you know. And I couldn't even afford a microphone or anything yet. I just had this like crappy little HP like laptop that it was on its way out at any time. I was barely able to run FL Studio on there, and but luckily, you know, I started coming up on some money, and you know, I got myself a Mac. I upgraded from there, and then like I just kept watching. You know, it's every time I'd have that breakthrough or I learned something new, I was like, okay, I got this, and then I'd make like a bunch of beats or whatever, and then I'm like, all right, I feel like I'm not really like, you know, evolving yet, so I'll go learn, you know, something new, you know, like, but I know what to look for though now, and that's like. Because at first, man, when I was trying to learn how to produce, like, it was like trying to learn, like, Chinese, bro.
I can imagine.
You know, writing raps is, you know, playing an instrument is one thing, but, like, learning all this, man, there's just so many buttons and stuff. It's easy to get overwhelmed, but, like, I knew I had to do this. There was nobody else making beats for me. I'm not going to make an excuse. Well, like, you know, I don't know anybody. Like, I'm going to learn how to do it. Like, people, you know, nobody was born knowing how to make beats, so, like, obviously they put in the time, so... Yeah, I put in the time, and now it's just all this year. It's just been about recording. You know, I just been recording. Yeah.
So what's harder, freestyling or making beats?
Man, they both kind of draw from that. Like now that like I'm comfortable with both of them, they both draw from that saying. If I'm not inspired, just like already, like just you know feeling creative. They're both gonna be kind of you know what do you want like stale, you know.
Yeah.
But if I'm feeling like creative, if I'm inspired, like I took a trip to Miami over the past summer, and just because it was like I was feeling stagnant, you know, I just needed to get out of the house. I've been cooped up in the house like all year, and I came back, man. And I made probably like at least an album and a half's worth of stuff, but I was feeling inspired. Like, you know, we were flowing over like YouTube beats and stuff, but I was like, oh, you know what? I can make that beat way better. Like, so I'll take the melody maybe and then like chop it up and maybe slow it down or change the key or whatever and put my own drums and 808s on it, and then like just, you know, I would either take the freestyle I already did or, you know, just write something new to it. But it was just, everything was flowing like butter. So they're really kind of the same, honestly. Yeah.
And
that's the question.
I was about to say, for me, like freestyling is probably hard because I be in the mirror, I be going hard. But I ain't trying to do that in front of people though, because I know it's trash.
Some days it's dope. Some days it's trash. Like you gotta have fun with it. That's the thing. You gotta have fun with it.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was like, I don't feel like every single time you feel inspired, you're like, yo, this is fire. Like 1,000 out of 1,000 times. Doesn't sound like
when you
every time I start rapping, sometimes like my DJ and like I just been kind of teaching him how to rap. Like his freestyles are like trash, and I say this in front of him.
Yeah, no,
man, he knows it. He don't care. He just has fun with it.
He's probably 10 times better than me, man. When I get drunk, I be.
I know, right?
I'm the fire spitter
behind you.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. That's all in your
confidence.
head.
That's true. That's true.
Oh yeah, man. I spit hot fire.
That's taking it back to 09.
Right.
Back to
so
I love this.
let me just ask you some super random questions, man, because you know I love asking random questions. He knows, especially you know what we do. So, what does a woman have to do to buy a birkin, man? I ask a lot of people. Do you know what a birkin is?
A birkin?
Yeah. Is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it.
I don't even know.
Well, okay. Well, let me put it like this. It's supposed to be like a purse, isn't it?
So, is it?
I think it is.
Okay.
I guess she would have to probably save up her money and get a job. Or
I like that answer because that's what I would say.
She ain't getting
that's where we're going. I see what you're asking.
Yeah. See what I'm going? See where I'm going now.
Yeah, I just, I wanted to make sure we were, talking at least somewhat of the same thing. I was like, Burka?
I was there with you, bro.
Are we
in
the
we were
Middle
both
East
in the
now?
desert.
I don't
in the
know.
ocean. We're like, yo.
Yeah, I'm over here just waving my hand like, yo, hey.
Hey.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, hey.
But what? Okay, let me just put it. Let me. Instead of just a bird, what does a woman have to do? Your woman have to do to get a BMW? Let's put it out. Let's make it easier.
You're making it personal. You're saying
I'm making it personal. Okay, just
all right. So let's say I had a woman.
Yeah.
Because I did the relationship thing a lot when I was in the 20s, and I feel like everybody kind of is still trying to figure themselves out.
Facts.
Obviously, so. I just turned 30 like 2 weeks ago. I'm like,
happy birthday, man.
Happy early birthday, for sure.
Appreciate that. No, I used to like dread it all the time when I was like 24, 25. I was like, oh, 30. But like, honestly, I love it now because it's like, man, I feel like people like, when you come in your 30s and stuff, people start to have themselves a little more figured out, and then, I mean, not all the way, but like they're not on that, immature, like just dumb shit, like people are in the 20s, just like riding trends and stuff. But to go back to your question, I would have to, like, loyalty is everything with me, and not changing up no matter what. It's not just about like being there through the hard times. It's like, how did you help me, like, get through? And also, do I do the same for you? Is this, is this a 50-50 kind of thing? Like, I'm not with the, oh, I just got this chick that, does everything for me. Like, some of the homies, they got these girls that are like, oh, they cash app and this stuff, bragging about. I'm just like, man, like, honestly, like, you just kind of whack to me. Like, you're not doing nothing, bro. I'm just like, what are you bragging about? So, like, really, she just had to stay down and, like, put in her 50% and hope, I put in my 50%, and one day that's definitely not gonna be something that I just jump into, like, hell, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some money now, like, what's up? But, like, definitely if, that time came and I had somebody, that was by my side the whole time, like, help me through the bullshit, like, I feel like stay down for me. Yeah, that's priceless. Man,
for me,
I gotta be invested. You know what I mean?
This guy here.
I'm gonna tell you one of the realest things ever.
She's got to cook you a good breakfast.
She got to cook me a good breakfast, and then not saying that I'll ever go to jail, because I'm scared of jail. I'm not gonna lie to you, but she has to bail.
Nobody's looking forward.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But she has to bail me out of jail to get a BMW. That
goes with staying down through the rough times.
You got to.
Wait. How much was the bail?
Man,
that's like a down payment for the BMW.
Okay. So they got to be at least $1,000.
Very good rebuttal.
I got to be at least $1,000.
Got to be at least a stack. All right.
Okay, and if she pay that stack and get me out and give me a good lawyer. Oh, yo, you want two?
I mean, the lawyer, bro. She spent more money on you.
That's the point. That's the point.
Let me buy the shiny little BMW. You start thinking about all the
I got you a lawyer. I got you out of jail.
See?
Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna need my next month probation
up front. So, what about you, Luigi?
What is someone like if
you date a girl? What does she have to? What qualities does she have to have for you to buy her a BMW?
That's hard, man, because I'm more on the guise of you should get yourself a BMW if you want a BMW, and I'll support you through it. So I'm shotgun. Right, I'll be in the front seat. I will support you. What you need, like, what's your dream? Whatever it is, I got you. So, like, because if I'm dating someone, if I got a girl, what's mine is hers, bro. So I can't really think of, you know what I mean, like, what can I do to buy you a BMW?
It's not gonna be just yours. Like, I'll be damn.
Like, and I'm gonna drive the BMW that we're gonna be real.
Hey, I like that answer. I like the answer. One more question.
That was random.
That was random. I'm great with random answers. Trust me. Questions. I said answers, but yeah. So Gucci Mane and Jeezy.
The versus
the versus is happening today.
Man, it's happening today.
It's happening today.
It's Gucci and Tip, right?
No, it's Young Jeezy.
No, like Jeezy and T.I.
No,
right?
so T.I. dropped out and Gucci Mane.
Took it.
Yes.
Yes.
What?
So,
because the last I heard, he declined, but he respectfully declined.
That's true.
And I was like, hey, that's what's up. That's dope. I like to see things moving in a positive direction.
But who do you think's gonna win?
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm picking Gucci Mane.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I used to live in Decatur, and and I listen to a lot of Gucci Mane tapes. It's just different.
Jeezy from right around there too. I mean, what?
But I'm just gonna say, with the situation that all of us living in Atlanta know about Gucci Mane and Jeezy.
Yeah.
I'm picking Gucci Mane every single time. And
I mean,
that's
strictly
my reason.
like on flow and like punchlines though too. Like, I have more fun, I think, to Jeezy's music, but I think Gucci's would take it wordplay wise. So
I mean, the man came out with so many mixtapes, it's ridiculous. Like,
I mean,
and he
regardless of whether they were hits or not, the man writing every day.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He putting in the work, and a lot of times Jeezy, I love Jeezy, but he be having some corny ass punchlines.
and I'm gonna put it like this: Jeezy, he has some hits. He's the only person. I'm gonna tell you a fact that nobody never said yet. Jeezy is the only person to have J. Cole and Kendrick on one song actually spitting bars. My friend, shout out to my boy Mark. He showed me that song, American Dream.
What track was
It's
that?
called American Dream. Check
I
it
know
out.
I've heard like randomly one night on my YouTube wormhole. Like,
Yeah, it's fire. It's a fire song.
Damn, I gotta go look that up.
Word,
That's
because
crazy.
both of them are one of my favorite artists. So, Luigi.
No, they had that song Black Friday though too.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
They did have this is like
That's
from
true.
like
That's
2013,
way back
14.
though.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the one song everyone thought they were gonna do a collab album
Yeah.
and it never happened.
I was
Never-
excited.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, but no, it never happened.
Yeah. Nah.
Yo, a couple things. I'm kind of new to the Atlanta area, so I'm not really too.
Where you from?
Well, I was born in Queens,
Okay.
raised in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, then spent 10 years in Kings Mountain, North Carolina.
I was about to say because I don't hear any of those accents. It's like,
Survival. I just had to.
That's
be a
all it
chameleon
is.
wherever I
Kings
went.
Mountain, North Carolina.
Kings
Where's
Mountain.
Like where is that? Like
It's about
on the,
35 minutes outside of Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah,
North
I
Carolina.
lived in Charlotte for like a year
Okay.
when I was like 7. You know, I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah,
but
so yeah,
yeah,
Kings
that's-
Mountain, and then went back up to New York for school, and then I came down here after.
dope.
So yeah,
Dope.
man. So I'm not really too
how you liking it?
privy.
How you liking it down here?
It's been weird because I've been here for a year, but this whole year's been Corona.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
So,
you just-
yeah, so I've been
that's
here
not-
for Corona
Yeah, give
Atlanta.
it another chance. Like next year, it's gonna be lit. I already
That's-
know.
I'll
Like
be
everyone's
overseas
not gonna
next
be able to
year.
keep the lid on it. No.
The year after next, Atlanta, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll be
No, it's
out
a-
there.
It's a good time, man. But it's easy to get lost in the sauce if you're not. If
Shout out to my man Gucci Man. He said that.
Yeah.
So there's my answer.
There you go,
From
Gucci
from
Man.
that comment.
Well, with that being said, Gucci Man definitely, he inspires me every day. As I always listen to one Gucci Man song a day. So Wes,
keeps the COVID away.
I was waiting for it.
so Wes, we're gonna get back to you, man, because I know I can get off subject pretty quick.
Nah, that's all good. We just talking. Man.
So, let's talk about your music. I see you have a song here called "Rob De Niro." What is that song about? Let's hear about it.
So this will kind of help explain a lot of my song title naming process. I don't like some songs like you can't help but like name it. All right, that's definitely the name of the song. But sometimes like naming it the obvious word or like phrase or whatever is just corny to me. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like I'll listen if the name doesn't pop out to me after I wrote the song. I'll sit back and listen to it, and it's just like whatever like word or phrase kind of just stood out to me. Like it could be just said one time, and I say in that track, more De Niro than Robert. That's I was just like Rob De Niro, and the whole track just kind of has that. That's what ended up helping me write the rest of that verse because I was just kind of on that like that Godfather just kind of. That was just the energy I had that night. That was one of those drunken nights, like, hey, I don't give a, just like the chorus goes,
Word.
So, that was, it was just kind of, and it just, the beat and the sample I used just kind of already had that nostalgic kind of mafia vibe. I don't know, when you think about it, it's just like everything starts settling in, and it was just like, Rob De Niro, that's it.
Okay.
Love that.
So the next track that you have here is "Overdosing."
Overdose.
I listened to that earlier.
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, and that's what I listened to. That's one of my favorites. So I like that.
That touched my
So
soul.
that's a remix to Alina Perez's song. Like I didn't produce that track, or I wish I knew.
That's
her,
funny.
but
I didn't know that.
She is a beautiful woman. Man.
Yeah.
Like that was definitely one of my number one collabs. One day, I
love
want to give
that.
it. But that actually just I was telling y'all when I started when I was listening to the J. Cole album, and I started having that inspiration going for me. That was the second song I wrote after the track I wrote to Nobody's Perfect, and it was just that was to my girl that passed away, and
Sorry to hear that, by the way.
Yeah, man.
yeah, man, it's things, it bothered. Like I don't know, it was just a strange feeling, man. That's a funny thing, especially when it's like people that like
Close
live
to
with
you.
and like close with,
Yeah.
and it's just like. It makes you feel like it could happen to you like at any moment, whether you're doing that or not. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
exactly.
it's crazy, but that was I don't think I can recreate something like that, like again, like that specific kind of thing, because that was just like in the moment. I wrote that whole thing like within like 20 minutes that verse,
Oh, wow.
and that was like one of the second songs I recorded by myself, like, you know, after having my recording gear and everything last summer. So, like, you know, the mixing and everything's kind of iffy, and I was just like, damn, it's taking off. I'm like, God, I wish I could take it down and remix it.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. It's just like, I just like hear these EQ problems. I'm like, but like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'll let it. But like, it was like one of the first songs I wrote, so it's gonna have that sound, like, you know, as far as mixing wise and stuff. But yeah, that's always will forever be one of my like favorite like verses. You know, it was just kind of dope. It was kind of like a bridge into like something else too, because it's kind of like an EDM-ish kind of like chill electronic kind of beat. You know, and I'm all about like you know challenging myself, evolving, and trying to push the envelope in this genre. Because like we said, hip hop, like you can
do anything.
Yeah, literally. And like I hear it all the time. Like a lot of people try to do the EDM thing, like, you know, like Waka Flocka, it was kind of like doing this thing, but like I just didn't feel that whole like bridge all the way there. Like you can use those like big sounds and bass and those like, you know, really pretty melodic, you know, sounds, but condense it down a little bit and, you know, use it for hip hop. And that was just like one of those songs I heard. I was just like, yo, I gotta start writing. But
no, that's crazy because that's like Luigi said. When I heard it, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fire." Like, I like the song. It was
like
deep
me,
too.
like spilling my heart out, like, you know, on the table.
It's time to, and I wanted to ask you about that because I went to school in New York for acting. Like that's my craft and trade. And there is this element of that you can't really fake when it comes to art, right? Like there's this thing that when you land on it, you couldn't escape it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So, if you may, tell me more about the journey into that song, like more so than just what happened externally, but like internally as you walked through that. It's like, can you take us?
I try to take that approach with everything I can. It just depends. Like the music is always what inspires me first. Like I don't sit there and write lyrics. You know, I might come up with a little 4-bar phrase like here and there, or whatever, but when I hear the music, like it's automatically like puts me into that like train of thought. It's just like I start thinking about this. Now that wasn't even on my mind. Like I don't sit there. I'm like, I'm gonna write a song about my friend that passed away. Like, you know, it just doesn't happen for me like that. But as I'm, you know, listening to the music and you know, I you know, break the ice on that, you know, those first couple lines. I just try to make it. I try to paint I try to use as much imagery as possible, and I gotta thank like Andre 3000 for that, man. That was one of my next influences after Biggie. Like I got really into Outkast for a minute, and like just hearing them rap about like, you know, like elephants and like, you know, fucking clouds and space and this and all kinds of stuff like that. Like I really like that because I've always had a big imagination too. So, you know, just really putting it all the way out there, being fully transparent is like what I'm all about, like musically. You know, I want to, because I don't feel like enough people are about that. They might, you know, be in this one lane. They might do that really well, but I know that you feel other things and just like this vibe all the time, or you're just always making sad music or this, you know, it's just, I felt, you know, I heard the music and I felt it, and I was just like, all right, that's what this song's gonna be about. I've got to do my best, you know, do my part to this song to try to paint, you know, as a lyricist, you know, to paint the most vivid picture I can. And that's just like every approach. You know, it might be a more carefree vibe to certain tracks, or, you know, it might be a really like in-depth, soulful. But those are like my two lanes. You know, like the fun vibe, you know, carefree, and then like the real shit.
When it's there,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
So the next song that I see here is you have Carmel Electra.
I thought that's what you were gonna say next. I was like Rob De Niro, and then we got Carmel Electra.
What's up, I gotta hear the story behind this one.
This is another one that, you know, like that's why I explained earlier. I was like, you know, I kind of just wanted to name something. Now I don't mention Carmen Electra herself in the song. Now this is a single that's off my mixtape that I just released yesterday called Mostly for Millennials.
Okay.
And the mixtape is all about, you know, basically what it sounds like, mostly for millennials, but it's mostly because, I mean, we can all relate to a lot of the problems and stuff, like, you know, relationship struggles, the day-to-day, like trying to pay the bills, you know, all that stuff. But
I'm always trying to pay the bills.
I try to use like a lot of nostalgia. I reference throughout the album just, you know, certain TV shows or like actors and actresses, you know, like it's Carmen Electra, and I remember Carmen Electra being like, that was like my first crush, you know, as a young man. So like that was a young boy, I should say, at the time. But it's kind of a play on words. It's kind of like, you know, Young Jeezy with Christina Aguilera kind of thing. And it's like, you know, because I'm talking about, you know, the hustle, the struggle, you know, because the holidays are kind of like a hard time for me, man. It's like a really low point because I don't have a lot of family, and I wrote this song December of last year, and that's why, the chorus, it goes, life been as cold as December wind floating through my pen again. And I start talking about like white girl, blah blah blah, through the break of the song. So I don't know, it just came out, it just came to me, Carmen the lecture. I was like, I don't know, somebody like, me and my homies were having a conversation, her name came up, and I was just like, yo, I'm gonna use that because it just looks cool on paper too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? It just pops out, and I just like I loved it. I was like, that's gotta be the name. Yeah.
No, I was going to say it's funny you say that because I'm one of those people like when I see people's mixtapes before I go listen to the whole thing, I look for the names. I look for the names.
Me too. I'm glad somebody.
I look for the names first before I listen to it. Like, oh, this sounds like it might be hot, and I listen to it. Oh, it's pretty fine. You know what I'm saying?
It sucks when like a song looks like, oh, that title was there, but then, like you listen to songs like, oh, man. That's like one of my duties as a musician, man. Like, I try to like not give you that feeling.
As we appreciate you for putting in that effort.
Word. Yeah, so Lonely Company is next. So. How did that song come about?
All right, this one's cool. Lonely Company. I think I mentioned earlier. I took a trip to Miami over the summer. I just went by myself, by the way. Like I needed to get away. Like I had a house full of people. I don't know. I always end up having a house full of motherfuckers, just always there.
Facts.
Always there. Even though I was like 9 times out of 10, I'm paying most of the bills and stuff like that. But like I ain't trying to stay by myself all the time. But I grew up, like I said, most of the, I was the only child. I had a lot of time to myself, big imagination. I was always writing. So loneliness was kind of just a common, theme throughout my life, And when I went to Miami, the last time I had been to the beach before that was back in 2015 when I lost my best friend, my girl at the time. It was a few months after that. Like I started writing songs, and then for my birthday, which is in November, I took a trip with my DJ down to Panama City at the time, and I was just like, I remember like looking out on the waters, and I was like feeling good about the future. I was like, I'm gonna. Like I had a few songs on I just wrote Overdosing and a couple other tracks, and I was like, this is like what I'm gonna do. I just remember having that thought and revisiting those waters, back this summer. Now that I've like got my own house, I got like a studio I built and everything. Like I really, just went all the way. Like it's like a time machine. I went back into those same vibes. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It was basically just still like I was talking at first. I was talking about I've lost a lot of friends, not to like like to drugs or anything. Like I just like had to sever relationships. People that just weren't good for me anymore throughout the year as I've been elevating and. Because a lot of people are just like leeches, man. They just like they see you got something going on, and they leech onto you, man.
You could call them roaches. That's what I call them.
I call them leeches, man. They leeching off my energy, like
Nah, facts.
I even say that in Carmen lecture. But yeah, so the first verse was more about that and just like the drama and all the just like trying to break away from that. And then the chorus was to my girl that passed away, and the second verse is kind of like me talking to her as if she was still alive, like basically. Word. And like I know we would still be having our like day, everyday struggles. It's not like every moment would be perfect. Like we would still be fussing and fighting. We'd still be like, but I'm like, hey, like I don't know. So I still try to keep it light and keep it real through the whole thing. And that's just as soon as I had the music, that was just one of the beats that I had made. Like I had made that like towards the beginning of the year, and I was cycling through beats. I was just listening to them like on my Bluetooth speaker on the beach, just like walking around drinking a beer, and I was just like, oh man. And like I didn't write anything while I was down there. I waited till I came back. I just had all this inspiration. And like as soon as I came back, man, that was like one of the first tracks I wrote. So
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to visit down there in Miami, man. I feel like I can come with some fire songs.
Hey man, you take some Coronas down there in Miami, I promise you, something might just pop.
I gotta come with the like artist name though. I don't know. But last song that I have here is Reflections. Give us a little. Tell me about that.
So I was talking about it earlier. Last year, 2019, I really started taking the music thing serious. I was putting in my 12 hours. I got fired from my job, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make beats every day, all day, every day, until something happened. And when rent comes, I'll figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always figure it out. But I made, God, I don't even know, probably at least like over 100 beats, probably from like May of last year to the end of last year. So I ended up trying to putting together this beet tape. It's called Beets and Potatoes. I always talk about like, I always try to get like the meats and potatoes of a song, and like, that's like, as long, I don't like spending too much time on a beat that I know I'm probably might not use or whatever, because it's like I could be using that time elsewhere. So I just want to get the meats and potatoes to it, and then like, I'll save it and put it away, like, because I'll go back to it and listen to it. And it's like, oh, okay, this has definitely got a vibe. I got to finish this one. But yeah, that was just I was like one of the more popular beats. That's just an instrumental, I didn't rap on that or anything. But it's weird because that was probably, I used the most instruments. That was definitely the most pain in the ass beat that I made on that track. Straight up, bro. Like, it was a mixing nightmare. I had like 65, 70 different tracks, and then on FL, like, we got like 100 channels, and I'm talking like, because that's also like automation, like, channels as well and everything. So it wasn't exactly 70 different instruments, but it was probably about like 45, 50 different instruments and another 25. Like, I just had different patterns going. Like, I don't know, I was just figuring this whole, the beat thing out, and that was one of my like mad scientists. Like, I'm gonna, try everything that I feel like I can do with this, and see where it goes. And that's, for some reason, ended up being one of the more popular beats on there. Like, I don't know, like, I hear it now, I'm just like, oh god, the end is still like it's clipping this and stuff. I feel like I'm always gonna I'm always gonna say that. But
what's the word reflections mean to you?
Reflections, It's weird how I named some of these beats. Some of the tracks on that beat tape I didn't even name. Sometimes I didn't have a name for them, so I look to my DJ, he's a fool. I'm like, what's the name of this? And he just comes up with some Asian Persuasion. He comes up with. You can just look at the track list and it explains itself. But Reflections was one that I named, and I don't know, maybe I was just kind of feeling reflective that day. Like, there wasn't, it's not really
that's
any
real,
kind of,
man.
it's not really any kind of deep. Some of them do
me.
have, like, there's like a handful that do have a meaning. Like, there's one track on there, it's called Saturdays, but I spell it Daze, and it was just like it was raining really hard on a Saturday. I was just like, smoking and just like, that was the vibe. I was just like, Saturdays, like, that was the name of it. Yeah, but yeah, there's no really deep meaning behind that one.
So I got the biggest question I wanted to ask all night. How did you get the name Sweetapple Wes?
I always wait to see it. It's like, damn, because it's usually like the first question. They're like, I gotta know.
I always say
get to know you before you know.
That's I appreciate that, and I appreciate it. It's just like, all right, when they gonna sneak it on me? No, it's actually just my name backwards. My full name is Wesley Sweetapple, and for years,
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
But how dope of a last name is Sweetapple, though?
You tell me. You didn't have to grow up with it.
Hey, I was raised with the name Luigi, so Luigi and Mario jokes on the daily, bro.
Yeah, any name that's just a bit outside the norm, you're gonna hear it, bro. Like, there used to be a side of me, I was like, I'm gonna fight everybody that's gonna make fun of my name, bro. Like, that was just like, I remember one of the homies told me that. He's like, man, don't let nobody say that about your name, bro. I'm like, you know what, you're right. And I was just like, I don't even know why I'm like mad about it, but I'm mad about it now. But no, now after like I've grown up and stuff, it's like I've heard it all, man.
Yeah.
But it was also kind of like me embracing that too, like, because back in the day I used to hate my name. I was like, when I turn 18, I'm changing my name, blah blah blah. They ain't never gonna know who I am anymore. But no, I was just gonna go by Wesley Sweetapple because I suck at coming up with like band names, like an artist name, like, because it's like that's forever, like song names, album themes and stuff like that. oh, I love doing that because that's just like a chapter, you know. But this is like the whole name, and I don't know if I'm just like scared of it or I don't know. My mind goes blank. But I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go by Wes the Sweetapple. There's a lot more MCs coming up that are just going by their normal name, like, you know, their full name these days, like, you know, Kendrick Lamar, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
And then my DJ was like, because I go by Wes, you know, I introduce myself as Wes. It's just easier. Like, I don't know, I got a southern drawl a little bit, so when I say Wesley, they're like, Westley? Like, you know anybody named Westley? Like, no, I'm not a direction. No. So, you know, I usually go by Wes, and then the homie, he was just like, "Nah, you should go by Sweetapple Wes." I was just like, perfect, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to rhyme, you know, Sweetapple Wes, the best, the rest. You know, it's a lot easier to rhyme and flow off of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wesley Sweetapple, you know, it's kind of, I like, so cool. That's the story.
No, that's pretty dope. I swear I would have never guessed that. I was just like, maybe
that wouldn't be a name I would choose if it wasn't my last name. Sweetapple Wes, that's the name. Yeah, that's hard, bro.
It does roll off the tongue kind of nice.
But
though.
what's cool, I mean, it's unique.
Yeah.
It stands out. Like once you hear it or see it once, you're probably gonna be like, Sweetapple. I feel like I heard that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It rolls off the tongue. Yeah,
in this oversaturated, you know, kind of market we're trying to come up in.
Oh, yes.
Anything like that can happen.
I mean, honestly, you just telling that story just added so many points to just that name. Like, it's now I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool name, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, yeah. I
So-
rock with it, obviously.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what in hip hop that you, from what you just you're listening to and what you're doing right now, is there anything you would change?
Like it's about like the industry as a whole.
Just the industry in whole. Is there anything you would change at all?
That's a good question. You know, I feel like it's up to each individual. We all have our own unique story. Anybody, you know, could be an artist. You know, if they truly wanted to and pursue it, everyone's got their own unique story. So there's no need to like, you know, copy like what's hot or whatever right now. I mean, yeah, I understand not wanting to be outdated and whatnot, but just keeping as much open perspective and open, you know, mind to new sounds and stuff. Because, you know, a lot of times you try to come in with a new sound or kind of, you know, try to change things a little bit. And a lot of people are like, no, that's not what's hot right now. And, you know, trap drums is what's hot right now. You got to use the trap drums, you know, like Lonely Company. I actually got a lot of flack of, I used to, you know, send some of my tracks out to some of these blogs and stuff that were, you know, like would like grade your song and send it back to you just because, you know, I just wanted like some general feedback. You know, I pay like $20-$30 whatever to get some feedback on, and they're like, you know, you really shouldn't use boom bap beats and blah blah blah. I'm just like, man, like, dude, this is where that stuff come from, you know. And like, but then some people would be like, yo, like, I usually tell people don't use a boom bap beat, but that's the way you did it, you brought a fresh energy. So just, you know, give people a little bit more chance and room to develop. It's really hard, I know, not to like base our opinions off of like first impressions and stuff, but a lot of times, man, you know, people just trying to like put some stuff out there because, you know, like especially with this project, you know, I had been working on it for the past year, and I've already got like another, you know, another project or two after that. And I was just like, man, I don't want to just be judged like on, you know, my specific thing. So just like keeping an open mind perspective. But as far as changing anything, nah, like it's a dog world out there. It's supposed to be cold, and like you got to prove yourself and put in this work. So like, as far as that goes, like, nah, I wouldn't change anything. So,
Oh no, that's cool.
It is what it is.
See, the biggest thing with me, like when it comes down to hip hop. Just how we do this podcast. Basically, the biggest thing about our podcast is we just want to hear the authentic you. We see all these people coming here. You know, I mean, well, I'm not gonna say here in this podcast, but just interviews and stuff, and they want to act super cool. And it's just like I don't even know who you are as a person to really relate to what's going on. So the biggest thing I would change in hip hop is always authentic, just being authentic.
That's a very good point.
That's just the biggest thing for me. So.
That comes down to that's not even changing hip hop though. That comes down to the person. I feel like,
that's
you know,
true.
they're scared to like let the, you know, be judged or whatever. That's a personal issue. Like, and trust me, I've felt those feelings. We've all been there. You know, the fear of not being accepted. But you learn that as you are more transparent and truthful about yourself, more people relate to that. And
No,
like,
yes.
when I started seeing that, I was just like, all right, I gotta be as honest and transparent. As
My man,
music, bro.
there's a lot of value in vulnerability.
Absolutely,
lot
man.
of
Like that's
value.
what I relate to as much, you know. And I know, like, I don't have just like a retarded music ear, you know. I mean, I know, like, you know, the music I listen to and stuff is dope. You know, I listen to all the greats and everything, and you know, the records that they were most vulnerable on were the ones that hit me the
ones you
most.
connect with.
Like Tupac, Me Against the World, like that whole album stuff. Like, yo, that album's one of my favorite, like, all time. And he was being, you know, that man put his soul on that record. You know, and that's what I want every, you know. But yeah, that's a very good point, bro. Like, straight up.
You have anything you want to change to hip hop?
Myself?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't really say
gonna
I
do
do.
it?
Right.
Don't do it.
I, as the king of it, no, man. I don't have. I can't really think of anything off.
No,
Like,
that's-
I want
Yo,
That's fair,
man,
that's
just
fair.
saying that brings me to another thing. The whole being the greatest of all time, being the king, that shit is dead, man. Like,
Facts.
that's so dead. Cause like I said, everyone's got their own sound. Like,
Right.
you know, having like, you know, like the awards and stuff. You know, I can understand like with the numbers, like, oh, they did more numbers and blah blah blah. Like, so it was voted most, you know, the best record of the year. But like, you know, music is subjective. You know, like, that I might not relate to that record at all. There might be a whole group of people that don't relate to that record. But, you know, just because, you know, the people who have more influence in the industry related to that, like the whole awards thing, like who's the best, blah blah blah, like that thing that needs to die.
Nah, facts. Facts. So I'm gonna ask this one last thing here. What do we see next in Sweetapple Wes?
Oh man, you gonna keep seeing me. I just dropped this mixtape yesterday, and like I said, I've already got 2 more like that I've already pretty much finished. I'm just gonna keep like elevating myself, keep pushing myself, and y'all about to see my label really come out. Like, I've got my own like personal, like, it's my crew of, you know, my homies and everything. We got like videographer, we're actors, we're directors, you know, so we do like skits, we do you know, music videos, we do. Man, the whole house is just like a mad laboratory of like all kinds of, like, you know, the world is at our fingertips, you know. So we just be having fun, you know, cutting up. But like, yeah, y'all gonna see not just me, but like, you know, the people I vibe with and make music with and videos with every day. I want to start giving them a lot more shine, and just always bringing that heat though on the music, man. Just
Cool.
I love that, man. Put the team on.
Yeah, got to.
I love that.
Got to.
So, Sweetapple Wes, go ahead and give them your social media, where they can find you, find your mixtape, and everything else, man.
Yo, so yeah, I'm on all the hot sites. Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, all the streaming sites at Sweetapple Wes, all one word, no T at the end. Remember, I'm not a direction. And then on YouTube, you can find me at East Atlanta Zoo. That's the name of my crew, my record company.
Cool.
Yeah. So East Atlanta Zoo or Sweetapple Wes.
All right, well, Wes,
Appreciate the love.
I appreciate you for coming on here, man.
It's a dope conversation, man. Appreciate you having me.
I'm glad I got to know how the name came about and listen to music, man. I'm really excited to know that.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much on my end. You know, I'm pretty much done. Luigi always ends this with his great words of wisdom.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're the greatest words of wisdom, but I would say, hey, man, hug your loved ones. Tell the people you love them, and keep being great, man.
Word.
Yourself as well, my man.
Yeah,
Keep
y'all
being
too.
great.
Where you make sure you listen to this podcast, of course, on themoderncrowd.com or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Just like Wes said, all the cool sites and ours. But yeah, just make sure you check us out and listen to this interview, of course. We got our merchandise on our site. We got you know, whatever else you're looking for, you know, just let me just say this, because I'm over here just babbling and stuff. Leave my boy Sweetapple Wes a message so we can send it to him.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Send some
Just
love.
send this man some love
Send
on this
some love.
podcast, and we might have him back so he can answer some of y'all questions.
Hey,
you know
I
what I'm saying?
love it.
But-
Any bit of encouragement.
Yeah,
always helps,
exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
Negative or positive. Hey, they listen.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
yeah,
watching, right?
My man is in the arena.
yeah,
Right,
facts.
right.
So
Facts. So,
what you
but
got?
that's pretty much it. Yo, y'all, again, make sure you check out themoderncrowd.com, and we out. Cool.
No. Oh, oh, no. My life keeps moving like a rolling stone. Oh, no.